The search warrant is related to concerns apparently the U.S. government has about violations of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. I will tell you right now, I am not in violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act. I have not done anything that would do it, and hopefully by executing the search warrant and taking the materials that they did, they will rapidly reach that conclusion. I will say that things like this have a chilling effect on free speech. There's no doubt that I'm being targeted because of statements I've made about U.S. policy in Ukraine. I'm being targeted because I have made an effort to try and improve relations between the United States and Russia, to try to bring about arms control, to bring about peace. Apparently somebody in the U.S. government takes umbrage at this, so they executed a search warrant. The FBI was extraordinarily professional. I have no complaints against the personnel that did this. I do have complaints against the personnel that caused this to happen. This has a chilling impact on free speech. The idea that you have a free speech right in America when you execute it in a manner that the U.S. government takes exception to, and they launch a search warrant, that is an intimidation factor. I can say that I am not intimidated, and I will continue to speak out, and I will continue to do what I do, because that's my responsibility as an American citizen, and I will continue to operate in that manner. So I think I gave you all the answers you need at this point in time. I would request that you respect that and let me and my wife get on with our business.
What time did they show up today?
I don't know. They were here a long time. So, you know.
Can you say generally what type of stuff was in the boxes they took?
The search warrant allowed them to look for electronic equipment. They were clearly interested in communications that I've had with people related to the work I do. That's all I can say about it. It's up to them to review it. I have nothing to hide. I was cooperative with them, and you know, it is what it is, and we'll get on with it. But as I said, I respect their right to do what they did. I'm not in violation of the law, and I will not be intimidated. So anybody upstairs who thought that this will intimidate me and cause me to stop speaking out, they guessed wrong. Have a great day.
Did they take your passport from you a couple weeks ago?
They took that. That's an old story, but yeah, my passport was seized when I returned from Russia back in June, when I was getting ready to leave for Russia back in June.
When you say they took stuff that was related to your work, what work exactly?
I'm a writer. You figure it out. You're a journalist? Imagine if they did a search warrant in your workplace. What would they take? 2 + 2 = 4. Hello. As everybody's probably figured out by now, the FBI has executed a search warrant on my home. The search warrant was based upon what they deemed to be probable cause that I am in violation of the Foreign Agent Registrations Act. And they executed a search warrant looking for electronic devices, my computers, my cell phone, things of that nature. Based upon their questions, it appears that they are primarily concerned about my relationship with RT and Sputnik. More specifically, that I am receiving direction from RT and Sputnik, and I'm being compensated for this. And that means that I am working on behalf of the Russian government. I let them know in no uncertain terms that that is absolutely not what's happening, that any compensation I get from RT and Sputnik is the same as I get from any journalistic entity that I provide articles or video products for. I am a journalist, and I get compensated for my work. We shall see where it goes. They were in my house for 5.5 hours. Very professional, very courteous. I have no problems with the people who executed the search warrant. I do have a problem with the search warrant itself. Let's just be very clear. No crime has been committed. I am not a foreign agent. I am not in violation of the Foreign Agent Registration Act, and they know this. This was an act of intimidation by the U.S. government designed to have a chilling effect. I was accused of that my articles were designed to manipulate the opinion of the American people on behalf of the Russian government, that my podcasts do the same thing. Ask the Inspectors, apparently a Russian propaganda tool designed to, again, manipulate the thinking of the American people. This is absurd in the extreme. This raid on my home was designed to have a chilling effect, to make me think twice about speaking out, about writing, about doing podcasts. And as I told the FBI, and I'll tell you now, there isn't a snowball's chance in hell that I'll back down, because I'm doing nothing wrong. I'm doing what every concerned American should be doing when they believe that their government is behaving in a manner that doesn't conform with the values and principles that are set forth by the Founding Fathers in the Constitution of the United States of America. I am an American citizen holding my government accountable and exercising the rights given to me by the Constitution. Today, the United States government declared war on me. They declared war on my ability to write, my ability to speak, my ability to interact with the American people, and indeed with a broader international audience. So be it. We're at war. It's not a war I plan on losing, and I can tell you that there is no chilling effect. Look forward to seeing me in the future as soon as I get the ability to interact more efficiently. But thank everybody for their concern, and I'll see you Friday night on Ask the Inspector.
Former UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter being raided by the FBI today. So this news came out that Scott Ritter was raided. We do have some video of the raid that happened at his house today. He lives just outside of Albany, New York. Let's go ahead and look at the raid. Here they are, the FBI. They went to his house. Nobody really knew what was going on. They just saw that the FBI was raiding his house. And Scott Ritter was nowhere to be found in these images or in this video of the raid, but FBI agents were swarming. A little bit later on, and there were some reports of it. Times Union reported on it. New York Post reported on it. Here's the New York Post. And this is their story. They said that the FBI raided the home of ex-UN inspector Scott Ritter. And really confusing as to what was going on and why. We do know, however, that about a month or so ago, Scott Ritter was trying to fly to Russia for a convention, and he was stopped at the airport, and his passport was seized. So he was unable to get on the plane to Russia. We talked to him about that. That happened maybe a month or 2 months ago. So that is what we know. We know that his passport was taken. He, at that point, when he came on the show to talk about it, said he didn't know anything. They just took it. And they didn't really say anything to him about why. They didn't give him any information. They just basically said, you're not allowed to leave the country by seizing his passport, which seemed quite unconstitutional. If you're not going to charge somebody, if a judge is not going to say, look, you cannot leave the country, so we're taking your passport, it seems really unconstitutional that that authorities at the airport could just suddenly seize your passport without giving you any reason, without charging you with a crime. So they then, but we don't know. We don't know everything. Scott could be remaining quite mum on things, and maybe his attorney is telling him to stay mum, or maybe he just wants to stay mum, but there could have been more to that story. That is just what we knew. Then we see that his house is being raided today. I mean, here he is sitting with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Scott lives just outside of Albany. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has been in Albany. Here's the picture. He's been in Albany in court. We've been covering his court case where the Democrats are trying to rip him off the New York ballot. The two of them met up. My hope after seeing this image last night was thinking, I hope Scott Ritter is talking some sense into Bobby about Palestine and Israel and what is going on over there. Maybe he was able to, maybe he wasn't. There's a lot of policies that RFK Jr. has that I absolutely agree with. I just really differ with him on this one big policy that I feel like he's way too early influenced on. Many people feel that way. But seeing this image, this is not lobbying a politician. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has not been elected to office. And so this could not be considered Scott Ritter lobbying a politician on behalf of a foreign government. Scott Ritter is a journalist. That is who he is. That is what he's been doing. And he's now being persecuted by the government for being a prominent voice who's been speaking out on behalf of Russia, trying to help. And look, like I said, even if he is being paid, if you're a journalist, if you're just a speaker, I don't think there's anything that needs to be registered there. It's really when you're really trying to influence policy, you're lobbying politicians, you're funding their campaigns, you're meeting with politicians in order to influence policy. That is when that act should be implemented. And I think we should all be speaking out against it and protecting journalists from things like the FARA Act, from things like the Espionage Act.